brothers throw Yosef into the pit. And then Reuven was the one who said, why kill him? Let's sell him and throw him into the pit. So like this, we don't kill him with our hands. So the brothers agreed and they threw him in the pit. But the Torah says that Reuven had a good intention. His intention was to come back later at night and retrieve his brothers. Unfortunately, after they threw him in the pit, the brothers sat down to eat, and then they saw a caravan of Ishmaelites, of Midianites, and they went and they sold him. And then the Torah says that Reuven comes back later at night. He looks into the pit, and he sees that Yosef is not there. V'hine ein Yosef babor, vayikras begadav. He tears his garments like a mourner because he sees his brother is not there. And that begins the story of Yosef going to Egypt and the slavery of the Jews in Egypt till the ultimate redemption. So then the question Rashi wants to know is, where was Reuven at the time of the sale? So Rashi gives two answers to this question. One answer was that every son had a different day that they would take care of their father. And that was Reuven's day, so he had to leave while the brothers sat down to eat. He went to take care of his father. Today was his turn to take care of his father. So he wasn't present at the time of the sale, and therefore when he comes back, he sees Yosef's no longer there. However, Rashi gives a second answer. Davar Achar, Rashi says, Asakoye besaki betanisei. We know that in last week's parsha it says Reuven did something really terrible. He moved around the beds of his father's tent. And it says Yaakov was very upset at him for this, and even on his deathbed, Yaakov reprimands him for this. So it says that Reuven was in the process of doing teshuvah for this sin. He was fasting and wearing sackcloth, and so he went home to continue his teshuvah. He was working on his teshuvah, and therefore he wasn't there when Yosef was sold into slavery. And the Lubavitcher Rebbe spoke about the story once very emotionally, and he said, look what happened. A Jewish child, Yosef, is sitting in a pit, and Reuven is busy going to fast and pray for his teshuvah. But because he went to fast and pray, Yosef got sold into slavery, which led to the entire Jewish people going into slavery, hundreds of years of Egyptian bondage. Why? Because instead of rescuing the child right there and then, he went to go pray and fast. And the Rebbe said that sometimes when there's a Jewish child in danger, his life is in danger, then all of our focus and attention has to be on saving that child. And no matter how holy and lofty our other endeavors are, they don't take precedence to the cry of a child who's stuck in a pit. And the Rebbe said it's not only physical danger, but there are many Jewish children who are in spiritual danger, of assimilation, of being lost to the Jewish people. And so now is not the time to go off and pray and be righteous and holy at the expense of these children. What's the call of the hour is to rescue these children from the pit. Whether it's the pit of assimilation, whether it's the pit of drug abuse, whether it's the pit of poverty, whether it's the pit of other dangers, that's the call of the hour. And if you go do something else, you could, God forbid, it could lead to what it led to in the case of Yosef. Not just Yosef's going into slavery, but the entire Jewish nation followed him down to slavery. And I'll just tell a story. And 2 days from now is the 19th day of Kislev. 19th day of Kislev is a Hasidic holiday. It's Yutes Kislev is the day that Rabbi Scheiner Zalman of Liadi was liberated from imprisonment. And the Alter Rebbe had a son whose name was the Mittler Rebbe, and he had a grandson by the name of the Tzemach Tzedek. When the Mittler Rebbe got married, he lived with his father, the Alter Rebbe, in his home. And one day, the grandson of the Alter Rebbe, the son of the Mittler Rebbe, Tzemach Tzedek, was in his crib, and he started crying. And Alter Rebbe was in the house, and the Mittler Rebbe was in the house, but the Mittler Rebbe was so deeply engrossed in learning that he didn't even hear the baby's cry. Imagine that concentration level. So the Alter Rebbe heard his grandson crying, so he went, and he took the baby out, and he soothed the baby. And then he went to the Mittler Rebbe, his father, and says, your baby was crying, why didn't you take care of the baby? He said, I was so engrossed in my learning, I didn't hear the cry of the baby. And the Alter Rebbe, Rabbi Scheiner Zalman said to his son, when a Jewish child cries, you should never be so deeply engrossed in your learning that you don't hear the cry of a Jewish child. There are many Jewish children crying out today, and we have to remember to be attuned to their cry.